do say that I'm a good teacher. I have a wonderful teacher, mentor and friend. In 2009, over a period of months, I attended a course led by Western Sydney University's Emeritus Professor Des Crawley. The course was about creative photography, evaluation of the image, and judging photography. My mentor Des liberated me from the artificial boundaries of things like the rule of thirds and showed me that the way to become a more creative photographer is not to spend my time trying to create images to please others, to follow popular trends, or to be a slave to so-called rules. Des encouraged me to invest in my own creative capital, to make images that express the way I feel about the world that I experience, because my view of the world is unique, just as your view of the world is unique. No one else in the world sees it through your eyes, through the lens of your background, your life experiences, your upbringing, and your values. Play to your strengths, work on your weaknesses, and emerge as a more complete and fulfilled photographer. It's not a hard recipe to follow. During our tour of Vietnam, I will share what I have learned about the practice of photography as an art form. This isn't a tour for beginners. The ideal client is a person who is familiar with the basics of photography and their camera's controls, and has been practicing photography for at least a year. The ideal client will have reached a point of being reasonably competent in documenting their experiences with a camera, but perhaps feeling a little dissatisfied that their images are not connecting with others as anything more than simple records of people and places. I like to say that a beautiful photograph of an ordinary thing is better than an ordinary photograph of a beautiful thing. The former can tell the viewer something about the photographer. The former can reveal something of the photographer's soul. The latter can be as simple as a record of something beautiful that the photographer saw, that anyone could see. Of course, we'll be out and about exploring new horizons and thinking about how to make photographs that connect with others. But the tour is not just about the places. During travel time in coaches and on some evenings, I'll conduct Q&A sessions so that you can continue an immersive experience by talking about and putting into practice various techniques and behaviours to support an artistic approach to photography. On some evenings, we will review images made by clients during the previous day, and I'll introduce the group to the ease and power of cataloguing and processing images with Adobe Lightroom and Adobe Photoshop, the workhorse processing tools of the digital photographer. Over a cup of coffee or a meal, or while we're travelling somewhere in a coach, pick my brains. Do you have questions about creating audio-visual portfolios of your work, or incorporating video into your photographic process? Do you want to try long exposure photography at night? Do you want to explore the use of motion blur for creative effect? Does the idea of combining photography and your own poetry appeal to you? I'll share my thoughts. Do you have questions about putting together a photo book? Do you need some tips about Lightroom or Photoshop? Are you unsure about how to get the most out of the equipment in your hands? That's a tricky one. Please bring your manual, but be prepared to have a go at reading and understanding it. I can provide some guidance, but I cannot read and absorb the manuals for every client's camera. We'll run some evaluation sessions with a computer and digital projector where tour members can talk about what they were trying to achieve with a particular image, and the group can offer constructive feedback and demonstrations of alternative approaches. The fundamental goal of the tour is that each person will come away from it feeling that they have taken some important steps in their journey in photography and have benefited from being challenged to see the world around them in new ways, to find images that they would previously have walked past. You don't have to go on a tour to exotic places to make compelling photographs. Compelling photographs can be found anywhere if you have the eyes to see them. Yes, going on a tour to a new place like Vietnam is exciting in itself, and it can be the catalyst that gets us thinking about our photography in new ways. However, for me, the most important goal of the Creative Photography and Heritage Tour of Vietnam is that each person will return to their home excited at the prospect of seeing familiar places in new ways. You can do it.